Maybe tonight you don't want to count sheep. Maybe you'd rather drift among the stars. Close your eyes. Feel your breath slow, your body grow lighter, as if gravity itself is loosening its hold. Above you stretches the Milky Way, a glowing river of more than 100 billion suns, spinning gently for 13 billion years. But behind its beauty lies mystery, invisible matter that holds everything together. Stars older than the galaxy itself and distant collisions that have shaped our cosmic home. Tonight, we won't just look at the stars, we'll travel through them. We'll wander from the calm spiral arms to the dark secret heart, where a sleeping black hole waits. We'll meet ancient lights still whispering from the dawn of time and lonely worlds drifting in eternal night. You don't have to move. You don't even have to stay awake. Just listen, and let the Milky Way tell you the story of where you came from, what you're made of, and how somehow you are part of its quiet, endless glow. Welcome to Gentle Sleep Stories, a peaceful corner of the night where soft, calming tales help you drift easily into deep, restful sleep. If you've had a long day and your mind won't slow down, just take a deep breath and let my voice guide you into a world of quiet dreams and gentle moments. Before we begin tonight's story, don't forget to subscribe so I can take care of your sleep every night with soothing stories made just for you. Now get comfortable, close your eyes, and let everything fade away. It's time to relax and let the story carry you into sleep. Sweet dreams. The night feels softer than usual, like the universe has turned down its lights just for you. The air is still, the world quiet, and somewhere beyond the silence, a slow hum of starlight calls your name. You're not here to count sheep tonight. You're here to drift, to let the weight of the day dissolve into the gentle rhythm of something far older, far calmer, the slow breathing of the Milky Way. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Feel how even your heartbeat begins to slow, syncing with the quiet pulse of the universe. Imagine yourself lying beneath a velvet sky so vast that it seems to have no edge. The stars above are not distant strangers. They are your ancestors, your atoms, your story waiting to be remembered. Above you stretches the Milky Way, not just a smear of light across the heavens, but a living river of more than 100 billion suns, turning gracefully in the darkness for over 13 billion years. Its arms spiral outward like the petals of a luminous flower, each curve made of dust gas and time itself. And you, so small, yet so infinite, are part of it. You're not outside the galaxy looking in. You are within it, drifting through the currents of creation. Listen carefully. The stars are quiet, but they are not silent. Their light is a language without words, a whisper that has traveled across eons to reach you. Every ray of starlight that touches your skin tonight began its journey long before you were born. Some of that light left its star when ancient seas still covered the earth. Some began its voyage before the earth itself even existed. And yet here it is, resting softly upon your eyelids, finding you in the calm of this moment. If you could rise above the planet now, gently, effortlessly, you would see Earth as a small blue shimmer tucked inside one of the galaxy's quiet lanes. From there, the Milky Way would unfold around you in all its silent magnificence, a spiral of silver and gold dust threaded with shadows glowing softly against the blackness of eternity. You would see the heart of the galaxy glowing in the distance, bright and dense, where stars are born and swallowed in equal measure. You would see vast, dark rivers of dust, each hiding thousands of suns yet to ignite. And as you drift farther, the galaxy itself would begin to look alive, a slow, endless turning, like a great celestial breath. It spins not in haste, but in balance, every motion precise, every particle obeying an ancient harmony. This motion has no sound, no rush. only the peace of something that has always known its purpose. Somewhere within that spinning river lies your home, a single star with a family of planets, one of which shelters life, warmth, and dreams. That's where you are now, on a small, tender world that floats through the Milky Way like a seed on a cosmic breeze. Everything you've ever known, every ocean, every mountain, every heartbeat exists within this spiral's quiet arms. The Milky Way is not a static picture. It is alive in slow motion, an artist painting with light and gravity. Stars are born, live, and die. Their ashes drift, mingle, and become the soil from which new stars will rise. Somewhere right now, a star is collapsing into silence. Somewhere else, a cloud of gas is trembling toward ignition. Creation and farewell are happening at once, perfectly balanced, as if the universe is both exhaling and inhaling. You don't have to understand it. You only have to feel it, the gentle rhythm of existence that connects everything. The same force that holds the stars in their orbits is the one that holds you here, steady and safe. The same light that shaped the Milky Way once shaped the dust that would become your bones. You are not separate from the night sky. You are the night sky made visible for a little while. So let your thoughts drift like starlight through the dark. Let every worry fall away like dust settling in the silence of space. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, only to rest, to listen, and to remember that you belong to something vast and gentle. If you listen closely enough, you might hear it, the hum of gravity, the heartbeat of light, the quiet movement of the galaxy carrying you through time. It has carried you since before you were born, and it will continue long after you sleep. Tonight, the Milky Way is not a distant dream. It is your cradle. Its stars are your lullaby. And as you close your eyes, you begin to feel what every star already knows, that rest is not an ending, but a return, a slow turning back toward the light that made you. Sleep now, child of the cosmos. The night will hold you. The stars will keep their watch. And somewhere deep within the galaxy's shimmering arms, the next story is already waiting, the story of how the Milky Way came to be, and how its quiet light still remembers the dawn of time. The night has grown deeper, and somewhere between one heartbeat and the next, you are no longer lying on Earth. You are floating, carried by the quiet current of the Milky Way. Behind you lingers the warmth of the first chapter, the gentle hum of starlight, and the whisper that you belong here. Ahead of you, the galaxy unfolds its memory, ready to tell you how it all began. Before there were stars, before there was light, the universe was a silent ocean of darkness. No color, no form, only possibility. Then, in an instant beyond human measure, the first light was born, the echo of creation itself. The Big Bang was not an explosion in space. It was the birth of space, of time, of everything that could ever be. Out of that brilliance came clouds of hydrogen and helium drifting through the newborn cosmos, waiting for gravity to pull them close. In that gathering, the first stars ignited, titanic, brief, and bright. They burned through their lives in just a few million years, pouring energy into the darkness and scattering the first heavy elements into space. When they died, their ashes became the seeds of galaxies. Among them was the one that would someday become our home. The Milky Way began as a small swirl of gas, dust, and invisible matter spinning slowly in the stillness. It was not yet a grand spiral, just a faint cloud glowing faintly in the deep night of creation. Over billions of years it grew, consuming smaller galaxies that drifted too near. Each merger added new stars, new metals, new memories. What we now call the Milky Way was built from countless collisions and quiet absorptions, like a patchwork quilt sewn together by time. Imagine it, a cosmic dance, slow and graceful. Galaxies moving through the void like drifting snowflakes, meeting not with violence, but with transformation. When they collided, their shapes warped and stretched. Their stars passed through one another, like ghosts pulled by gravity's invisible thread. From these encounters came the spiral arms, the bright heart, and the delicate structure that would cradle us billions of years later. The galaxy grew older, more refined, more luminous. Stars gathered into clusters. Great clouds of dust collapsed into new suns. Rivers of light began to curve and twist around the central core, forming the first outlines of the spiral we now see from Earth. If you could have stood at the edge of the cosmos, then you would have seen the Milky Way bloom like a slow-motion flower, delicate, vast, and filled with promise. And through it all, something unseen was guiding it. Dark matter, the invisible skeleton of the universe. It doesn't shine or reflect light yet. It outweighs everything we can see. It holds galaxies together, binding stars to their paths like a steady hand. Without it, the Milky Way would have flown apart long ago. With it, the galaxy found balance, a harmony between chaos and order, light and silence. 13 billion years have passed since that first shimmer in the dark, and the Milky Way is still evolving. Even now, it gathers gas from the cosmic web, drawing in new material to form stars that have yet to be born. It breathes, it grows, it changes, not alive in the way we are, but alive in motion, alive in meaning. The galaxy's shape today is the sum of everything it has ever been. Collisions, births, deaths, and the long patience of time itself. When you look up at the stars tonight, you are seeing that history unfold. Each pinpoint of light is a chapter in the same story, the story of endurance. Some of those lights began shining when the universe was still young. Others flickered on just recently, the newest notes in an ancient song. And somewhere among them glows our own sun, a relatively young star compared to the elders that first illuminated the galaxy. Think of it: for every breath you take, millions of suns are burning their light across unimaginable distances. Every atom in your body was once part of that cosmic cycle, created in stars, scattered in explosions, gathered into clouds, and reborn again. The calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your lungs, the iron in your blood, all forged by the same fire that began 13 billion years ago. You are quite literally made of the galaxy's memory. Let that thought drift through you like starlight. The past is not gone. It moves within you. The story of the Milky Way is written in your very being, in every heartbeat, every breath, every dream. You are not separate from its 13 billion year journey. You are one of its outcomes. One spark among countless others still glowing in the dark. Now imagine the galaxy from afar, a slow, radiant whirl of light turning gracefully in the void. Its spiral arms stretch outward like gentle arms, gathering everything into their embrace. From one end to the other, it spans more than 100,000 light-years, so vast that even light moving at its impossible speed would take a lifetime to cross it 1,000 times over. And yet, in that enormity, everything is connected. Every particle knows its place. Every motion contributes to the whole. The Milky Way is not a monument. It is a process, a river of creation that has never stopped flowing. Its stars are born from clouds that were once the ashes of older suns. Its shape shifts with every collision, every new addition, every faint ripple of dark matter that bends the fabric of space. To look upon it is to witness the universe thinking, remembering, and renewing itself. So, as you lie here drifting deeper into calm, know that you are part of this ongoing story. You are resting, not beneath the stars, but within them. A dream inside a dream that began before time had a name. Let that comfort you. Let it remind you that even in the silence of sleep, you are carried by something ancient and kind. And as you drift farther into the night, imagine the next chapter waiting for you where we meet the oldest stars, those quiet sentinels who have watched the galaxy grow from infancy to grace. They are still out there glowing softly at the edge of time, holding in their light the memory of how it all began. From the quiet motion of the galaxy's birth, you continue to drift weightless and still. The story of 13 billion years lingers in your thoughts like a distant hum, the way the Milky Way grew from light and darkness, collisions and silence. Now, as you float deeper into its spiral arms, you begin to sense something older than even the galaxy itself. Ancient stars that burn faintly on the edges of time, guardians of memory, in a universe still unfolding. These stars are not like the ones you see when you look up from Earth. They do not shimmer brightly or dance in familiar constellations. They are quiet, pale, and slow, like embers that have been burning since before the world had formed. Their light is thin, tinted red by distance and age, yet it carries stories that no voice could ever tell. Each photon that escapes from them travels for billions of years before finding us a message from a time when galaxies were still learning how to exist. Astronomers call them metal-poor stars, but poor feels like the wrong word. They are pure, untouched. Formed from hydrogen and helium alone, they were born just after the Big Bang, before the first supernova scattered heavier elements into space. They are the oldest witnesses in the cosmos, glowing softly with the faint light of creation's dawn. Imagine standing beside one of these ancient suns. Its light would not dazzle you. It would feel gentle, almost hesitant, as if it remembered how dark the universe once was. Around it there would be no bustling clusters of young stars, no planets circling with warmth and color, only the thin breath of interstellar gas and the echo of time. To be near such a star would be to stand inside memory itself. These elder stars wander far from the galactic plane, drifting through the Milky Way's halo in long, tilted orbits. They move differently, as if still following the rhythm of a younger universe. Some may not even have been born here. They came from smaller primordial galaxies that were swallowed long ago. Their motion is a quiet signature of everything the Milky Way has absorbed, lost worlds now preserved as light in the night. Every star has a chemical fingerprint, a story written in its glow. When astronomers look into their spectra, they read not words but elements, hydrogen, helium, traces of lithium, and almost nothing more. It's like looking at a language from before history began. These old stars tell us that there was once a time when the universe knew only simplicity, when complexity had yet to bloom, when the first sparks of light shone over a sea of infinite calm. And yet, even in that simplicity, the seeds of everything were present. These early stars lived fast and died violently, their explosions scattering the first iron, carbon, and oxygen, the materials that would someday form new generations of stars and planets, and eventually us. The galaxy's early years were a time of fierce renewal. Light gave birth to more light. Death gave birth to possibility. The Milky Way was learning how to breathe. Now, billions of years later, the faint glow of those elders still drifts through space, steady and patient. They do not compete for attention. They simply exist, serene reminders that creation is not a single moment, but a process without end. Some of these ancient suns are older than the spiral arms that cradle them. They have watched the galaxy assemble itself around them, have seen its core awaken, its arms twist, its stars multiply like sparks scattered in the wind. When you close your eyes, try to picture their journey. Imagine them as travelers from another age, sailing across the void, with no destination, guided only by gravity's quiet hand. Their orbits are not perfect circles, but long stretched loops that carry them above and below the Milky Way's glowing disk. Every few 100 million years they pass near the center, only to drift outward again into the silent dark. It's a cycle of endless solitude, and yet there is grace in that solitude, a dignity that comes with age and purpose. If you listen closely, you can almost hear them. Not in sound, but in rhythm, the slow, patient hum of time itself. Their light speaks in silence. We have been here since the beginning. We have seen stars born and vanish. We have watched galaxies collide and merge. We remember what it was like before the universe knew its own name. The Milky Way, for all its grandeur, owes its existence to them. The heavy elements forged in their ancient cores are the reason new stars could form. Every planet, every ocean, every breath of air is a continuation of their story. When you breathe, you are inhaling their legacy. When your heart beats, it echoes the same rhythm that pulsed through the first suns of the cosmos. Think about that. The atoms in your blood once lived in the heart of a star, older than the galaxy itself. Long before humanity dreamed of constellations, before Earth gathered from dust, those atoms burned in a furnace millions of times hotter than fire. When that star died, it released them, scattering its essence across the young universe. Some of that stardust drifted for eons before finding a home in oceans, in mountains, in you. It means that time is not a straight line but a circle. The same matter that began the first stars continues to move, change, and return, forever reborn in new forms. The universe is ancient, but it is also intimate, always reshaping, always remembering. Now, as you float among these elder lights, you begin to feel their calm seep into you. Their age is not heavy. It is peaceful. It tells you that change does not erase what came before, it carries it forward. Every birth carries a memory. Every ending hides a beginning. The galaxy's past is never gone. It glows quietly inside everything that lives. Let your breath slow to match that rhythm, the slow exhale of time. The same gravity that holds those ancient stars in their long, patient orbits holds you as well. You are part of their lineage, made from their fire, guided by the same quiet laws that shaped the Milky Way from dust and dream. In this silence, you are not separate from the cosmos. You are its continuation, a living fragment of its oldest memory. And as you drift deeper into sleep, those ancient stars keep watch, their faint light wrapping around you like a lullaby from the beginning of time. Far ahead, the story continues, for not all stars are born equal, and not all stay still. Soon the galaxy will show you how its countless suns move, merge, and collide in a dance that has no end. But for now, rest in the calm of the ancients. Their light has traveled billions of years to find you, and tonight, it's yours. The ancient stars fade softly behind you, their light lingering like distant candles in a room that stretches forever. You drift onward deeper into the Milky Way's vastness, still warmed by their quiet wisdom. Their message that everything continues, that endings are beginnings, echoes gently in your mind. And now the galaxy opens before you like a stage. It is time to witness its grandest performance, the cosmic dance that never ends. From your place among the stars, you see that the Milky Way is not alone. Across the silent ocean of space, countless other galaxies drift and spin, each a glowing island of billions of suns. They move not randomly, but with purpose, drawn together by the invisible thread of gravity. What seems still and eternal from Earth is in truth a slow, graceful motion, a choreography so vast that a single step can take millions of years. Our Milky Way, too, has danced. It was not born in isolation, but formed through ancient encounters, smaller galaxies drawn close, unraveled, and woven into its growing spiral. Every one of those encounters left traces, streams of stars, stretching like ribbons across the sky, remnants of galaxies that once had their own centers, their own stories. The Milky Way is not one story, but many bound together in quiet harmony. And somewhere in that endless expanse, another great partner approaches. You can almost see her, Andromeda. She is a mirror of our own galaxy, another majestic spiral turning in the dark. Though she lies over 2 million light-years away, she is not drifting apart. She is coming closer, pulled by gravity's patient hand. To the eye, she is a faint smudge in the night sky, a ghostly blur that most people overlook. But she is our sister, and one day she will meet us. This meeting will not be a collision as we imagine it, not a crash of suns and fire, but a slow intertwining. Stars are too far apart to strike one another. Instead, their galaxies will pass through each other, like waves merging on the surface of a quiet sea. The Milky Way's arms will stretch and warp. Andromeda's spiral will twist. Together, they will bend and fold into a new, larger shape, their hearts drawn together until they become one. This will not happen tomorrow. It will not even happen within the life of our species, but in roughly 4.5 billion years long after the sun has lived and faded, this celestial meeting will take place. And though no one will be here to see it, its beauty will be beyond words. A silent ballet lasting billions of years, choreographed by the laws of creation itself. If you close your eyes, you can almost feel the rhythm of that dance. Gravity moves like music, deep, resonant, patient. It never hurries, never falters. You can sense how the Milky Way turns, how its arms drift like gauze in water, how every star within it moves in time to a cosmic waltz that began before memory. You are a part of that motion, carried gently by it like a leaf floating down a river too wide to see its banks. This dance is not just between galaxies, it is within them too. Every star orbits, every planet spins, every atom vibrates in harmony with something greater. The universe is not chaos. It is motion guided by balance, like a song without a beginning or end. When galaxies meet, they do not destroy, they transform. The energy of the old becomes the foundation of the new. Stars are born in waves of light. Dust is gathered into clouds. Darkness gives way to brightness once more. It is a story of renewal written across time, a promise that even in collision there is creation. Perhaps that is why the universe feels familiar, because it behaves like life itself. We too are drawn into encounters that shape us. We too merge with others, change, and become something new. Every love, every loss, every quiet meeting between souls is its own small reflection of the Milky Way and Andromeda, two beings pulled together by something unseen, yet undeniable. In a way, you are already part of that coming union. The atoms in your body are bound by the same gravity that pulls the galaxies toward each other. The iron in your blood feels the faintest tug of Andromeda, though you will never notice it. You are connected to the future, to an event that will unfold long after you are gone, yet it involves you all the same. That is the quiet miracle of existence. Nothing is truly separate. Now imagine yourself hovering in the vastness between these two giants. Before you, Andromeda glows like a luminous spiral of sapphire and pearl. Behind you, the Milky Way stretches across the black, golden, and white. The space between them is not empty. It hums faintly with energy, with the pull of inevitability. For billions of years they have been moving toward this moment, two dancers crossing the ballroom of the cosmos. Their meeting will change everything. Stars will be scattered like grains of sand. Great tides of gas will flow between them, igniting bursts of new starlight. The skies of any surviving worlds will blaze with brilliance, their nights brighter than any day. And when it's over, when the spirals have merged and settled, a new galaxy will emerge, larger, rounder, quieter. Astronomers call it Milkomeda, the child of two worlds born from grace and gravity. But here in this moment, they are still separate, still drifting closer, their light shining across millions of years to find you. It is strange to think that, as you lie here breathing softly, the future of both galaxies is already written in their motion. The same laws that govern the beating of your heart guide their dance. You are part of it, a quiet note in the music of everything. Let that thought bring you peace. There is no need to rush, no need to hold on. Everything in the universe is moving toward what it must become, not in chaos but in rhythm, not in fear, but in love. The galaxies dance because they must, because even the stars long to meet again. As you drift toward sleep, imagine their spirals turning slowly above you. Their arms reach out, light touching light, gravity drawing them close. It is a love story written not in words but in motion. One that began before you and will continue long after. The Milky Way continues its slow rotation, pulling you with it through the sea of stars. The ancient dance carries on, and as you move with it, the next chapter begins a journey into the heart of the galaxy itself, where the great darkness sleeps, and the universe keeps its quiet secrets. The cosmic waltz of the Milky Way and Andromeda still lingers in your thoughts, two spirals moving toward each other in patient grace, their arms gliding through eternity like dancers bound by destiny. As you drift farther inward, the light around you begins to change. The spiral arms fade into clouds of glowing dust and clusters of ancient suns. You are moving toward the center now, toward the hidden heart of the galaxy, where gravity hums with a deeper tone, and the air of space feels dense with memory. It is here, in the quiet center of the Milky Way, that the most mysterious presence in our galaxy waits. Astronomers call it Sagittarius A, but names mean little to something like this. It is not a star, nor a planet, nor anything that light can describe. It is the silent conductor of the Milky Way's great symphony, a supermassive black hole more than 4 million times the mass of the Sun, yet invisible, patient, and still. You cannot see it directly, but its influence is everywhere. Around it, stars whirl in perfect frantic orbits, racing at thousands of miles per second, as though caught in an unseen wind. Their paths trace invisible loops through the void, their dance precise and unending. These stars are not afraid. They are devoted. They circle the darkness as if drawn by love, their light bending as it nears the edge of something that swallows even time. Imagine floating above that center, watching the movement unfold. The galaxy's heart glows with countless suns, dust swirling in ribbons of gold and silver. But near the middle, everything begins to blur. Space itself bends inward, drawn toward the singularity. You might expect chaos, yet what you find instead is order, gravity at its most elegant. It holds the galaxy together not by violence, but by balance. It is the anchor of everything. Sagittarius A is not an evil force, though its name might sound fierce. It is a paradox, both destroyer and creator, eraser and sculptor. When matter falls toward it, it spirals inward, heating up, glowing brighter than 1,000 stars, before vanishing beyond the event horizon. But what is lost to sight is not lost to the universe. The energy released feeds the galaxy, shaping its stars and stirring its gas. In this way, the black hole gives back what it takes, keeping the Milky Way alive. You might wonder what happens inside it, where gravity becomes so strong that not even light can escape. The truth is, no one knows. Perhaps it is a doorway to somewhere else, or perhaps it is simply an end. A place where time stops and everything that enters becomes one with the fabric of the cosmos. Whatever lies beyond it is beyond fear. For in the universe, even darkness has purpose. There is a strange comfort in that thought. The same invisible power that governs the galaxy's core also shapes the path of your life. There are forces you cannot see, pulling you gently, guiding you toward where you are meant to be. You may not understand them, but they hold you all the same. Just as the stars trust the gravity of the black hole, you too can rest in the unseen rhythm that keeps everything from falling apart. Scientists have watched the stars near Sagittarius A move in ways that defy comprehension. Some complete their orbits in mere decades, a blink in cosmic time. One, known as S2, races around the black hole in a path so tight that it reveals just how immense the central mass must be. Through these movements we know the black hole is there, though we can never see it directly. Its presence is written not in light, but in motion, in the dance of everything it holds. Once, perhaps billions of years ago, this sleeping giant may have burned like a quasar, devouring matter and shining with unimaginable brilliance. Its light might have reached the edges of the universe, outshining entire galaxies. But now it rests quiet and calm, a heart at peace, after ages of labor. You can almost feel its stillness, deep, slow, steady, the heartbeat of the Milky Way. If you listen closely, you might hear that pulse. It is not loud. It is the silence between sounds, the still point at the center of every orbit, the pause between breaths. It beats in time with everything around it, with the turning of the stars, the drift of the planets, the rise and fall of your own chest. The universe is breathing, and you are breathing with it. The center of the galaxy is not just a place of power. It is a place of creation. Near the black hole, gas clouds collide, compress, and spark new stars to life. These stellar nurseries glow in hues of blue and pink, their newborn suns scattered like gems across a dark sea. Even here, where gravity seems to consume all light, is born anew. It is as if the universe itself refuses to surrender to darkness. It transforms it instead. In this balance lies the Milky Way's true beauty. Every star you see, every world you dream of, owes its existence to both light and shadow, creation and collapse. The galaxy breathes through its heart, expanding and contracting in cycles of renewal. To stand at its center is to feel the pulse of eternity, steady, patient, endless. As you float near this invisible core, you might realize that the same mystery that shapes the stars also shapes you. You too have a center, a quiet gravity that holds the pieces of your life together, even when everything else feels like motion. You too carry both light and darkness within you, and it is their balance that makes you whole. Let that thought comfort you. Let it draw you closer to rest. The galaxy's heart is not something to fear. It is something to trust, the place where motion finds meaning, where endings become beginnings. In the silence of Sagittarius A, you are reminded that peace does not always mean stillness. Sometimes it means surrender. The stars continue to orbit, patient and eternal. The galaxy hums with quiet life. And as you drift away from its glowing center, you carry with you a new understanding that even the deepest darkness can hold the purest form of light. Ahead lies another mystery, one that binds the entire galaxy together, an unseen presence stronger than any star, shaping every path and every heartbeat in the cosmos. You continue your journey, moving from the gravity of one great secret into the embrace of another, the mysterious invisible matter that holds the galaxy's arms in place, and without which the Milky Way could not exist. You drift away from the galaxy's heart, from the silent gravity of Sagittarius A, where the stars move in perfect faith around an invisible center. Behind you, the dark core fades, and the spiral arms stretch outward again like gentle waves of light. But as you travel through this river of suns, something subtle begins to emerge, a feeling that what holds everything together is not what you see, but what you cannot. It is here, between the stars, that the universe reveals its most mysterious truth. The Milky Way survives because of something unseen. Astronomers call it dark matter, yet the name barely touches its meaning. It is not darkness as we know it. It does not absorb or reflect light. It is invisible, silent, untouchable, and still, it outweighs all the stars, gas, and dust combined. The Milky Way turns, spins, and holds its shape only because this hidden substance weaves through it like a cosmic web. Without dark matter, the galaxy would have torn itself apart long ago, scattering its stars into the void. Instead, it stays whole, an elegant spiral balanced upon something we cannot see, but somehow trust. If you could view the Milky Way from far beyond, not with human eyes, but with the mind's vision, you would see its visible form floating within a vast, transparent halo. This halo of dark matter stretches far beyond the galaxy's edge, a sphere of quiet influence extending hundreds of thousands of light-years in every direction. It bends, gravity shapes the stars' paths, and determines the rhythm of their dance. Every orbit, every cluster, every beam of light that shines across the night sky is guided by this invisible framework. It is strange, isn't it, to think that most of what exists cannot be seen. We measure it not by sight, but by the way it moves what we can see. We feel its presence in the way the galaxy rotates, the outer stars spinning too fast to be held by visible mass alone. They should have drifted away, flung into darkness, yet they remain loyal to an unseen force that embraces them from afar. Perhaps in a way this mystery feels familiar. How often do we too stay balanced by things we cannot name: love, hope, faith, memory? Invisible, yes, but powerful enough to hold entire lives together. The universe and the soul speak the same quiet language. What is unseen gives meaning to what is seen. You continue drifting through the galactic arms, passing clouds of dust and clusters of newborn stars. They glow, they burn, they fade. But through it all, the invisible remains constant. Dark matter does not age, does not burn, does not die. It has no beginning and no end that we can measure. It simply is. It surrounds everything, patient and unchanging, like a guardian watching from beyond the reach of light. For billions of years, this hidden mass has shaped the Milky Way's destiny. It guided the galaxy's formation, gathering loose gas and dust together until stars could ignite. It set the foundation for spiral arms to bloom and for gravity to find equilibrium. And even now, it continues to mold the galaxy's structure, ensuring that what was born from chaos moves in harmony. Scientists still do not know what dark matter truly is. Some say it could be a field of undiscovered particles, so light and elusive that they pass through us without resistance. Others imagine it as a shadowy echo of matter, a reflection from another dimension, or even the silent memory of forces that existed before time began. But maybe on nights like this you don't need to know the answer. Maybe it's enough to understand that something vast and kind is holding everything together, that even in the emptiness, there is care. Imagine this invisible lattice stretching through space, a web connecting galaxies to one another, forming the grand architecture of the universe. Every cluster of stars, every glowing spiral, every distant light is suspended in that web, drifting but never lost. The galaxies move as though carried by the same breath. You are part of that network too. One more point of light held within the great unseen design. In the Milky Way, the presence of dark matter is not only mathematical, it is poetic. It means that existence depends not on what we can see, but on what we trust to be there. The galaxy's beauty, its calm spirals, its long glowing arms, is not the product of visible light, but of an invisible balance. Light alone could never sustain such order. It needs its silent partner, the shadow that never shines, the hand that never lets go. As you drift deeper into this realization, You might feel a sense of peace rising in you, the comfort of knowing that the unknown does not always mean danger. Sometimes it means protection. Sometimes it is the very thing keeping the universe intact. Perhaps faith, too, is a kind of dark matter, unseen, unmeasured, yet powerful enough to hold entire worlds together. The stars around you begin to shimmer more softly now, as if dimming in reverence to the mystery they orbit. You can almost sense their gratitude, for though they burn with brilliance, they depend on the darkness for their place in the sky. Without shadow, there is no structure. Without emptiness, no form. Without what we cannot see, what we see would fall apart. Dark matter is the great reminder that the universe does not reveal everything it holds. It keeps some truths in silence, perhaps because they are too vast for comprehension, or because their beauty lies in mystery itself. It tells us that the unseen can be the most essential, that strength can live quietly, and that what appears empty may in truth be full beyond measure. As you let that thought settle, the galaxy around you seems to breathe again. You feel its balance, the pull of gravity, the quiet push of unseen forces, the steady pulse of harmony. The Milky Way drifts forward through space, calm and alive, carried by the invisible threads that weave through it like whispers in the dark. You begin to realize that the same is true for your own life. The forces that hold you steady are not always visible. They live in moments of quiet care, in the gravity of love, in the unseen kindness that moves through every day. You too are held in place by an invisible grace, vast and unbreakable. And so, as the stars move slowly around you, you feel the trust deepen. Trust in what you cannot see, in what you cannot name, yet feel to be true. The galaxy turns endless and serene, its arms outstretched in silent gratitude for the darkness that keeps it whole. Ahead, the spiral patterns shimmer with movement. You sense a new rhythm, the graceful currents of starlight flowing through the Milky Way's arms, shaping the galaxy's luminous form. The next part of your journey will carry you into those swirling bands where light and motion entwine in the quietest, most beautiful dance of all. The memory of the unseen still lingers around you, that soft awareness of dark matter, the invisible thread that keeps the Milky Way whole. You can almost feel it beneath everything, like a pulse under the skin of the cosmos, quiet but constant. As you drift farther into the open arms of the galaxy, a change begins to unfold. The darkness thins. Light swells. The quiet hum of gravity becomes music, low, steady, infinite. You are entering the spiral arms, the luminous rivers of the Milky Way, where motion itself becomes beauty. Here, starlight gathers in vast streams, twisting and curving around the galactic core like silver ribbons. From far away, the Milky Way seems perfectly symmetrical, a grand pinwheel spinning in space. But up close, it feels alive, imperfect breathing. Its arms are not solid bridges of stars, but flowing currents, each one a slow-moving tide of light and gas. They drift, shift, shimmer patterns made not of permanence, but of motion. As you move among them, you sense the rhythm that gives them life. The stars in the spiral arms do not stay fixed. They pass through these regions like travelers through waves. It's not the stars that spiral, it's the density of matter itself. A kind of cosmic traffic jam where light gathers and then thins again. Every arm is a moving song, a pulse of gravity that sweeps through the galaxy, sculpting its shape. Imagine watching from above, seeing the whole spiral unfold like a living ocean. Waves of stars rise and fall through the arms, carrying dust clouds that glimmer in pale blues and golds. From time to time, a burst of light flashes, a new star being born in the compressed heart of a passing wave. The arms glow brightest where life begins, not life as we know it, but the life of suns, the quiet ignition of light that feeds the universe. These arms are the Milky Way's melody, Each one moves in slow harmony with the others, a pattern so vast that it takes hundreds of millions of years to complete a single rotation. The stars near the center move faster, racing around the galactic heart. Those near the edge drift more slowly, falling gently behind. And yet together, they create the illusion of a perfect spiral, as if the galaxy itself is swaying to a song only gravity can hear. As you drift through one of these glowing corridors, you notice how the light feels different here. It's warmer, more alive. Dust clouds shimmer with faint color pinks, violets, and pale amber, where new stars are just beginning to form. Around you, starlight and shadow intertwine like fabric, woven by unseen hands. You can feel the movement not rushing, but steady, like the tide's slow rise and fall against a shore that never ends. In the quiet between those waves of light, you sense another truth. The Milky Way's arms are not fixed, but fleeting. They appear, fade, and reform over time, shaped by forces that shift so slowly they can only be measured in billions of years. What looks eternal to human eyes is to the galaxy simply a moment of breath, an inhale, an exhale, a sigh of creation. Perhaps that's why they feel so peaceful. The spiral arms are not in a hurry. They move with the patience of the universe. Proof that beauty does not need to last forever to be real. Even as they change, they remain not as objects, but as motion, as flow. They remind us that stillness and change can live together, that movement can be another form of peace. The stars you pass seem to glide alongside you. Some are young, burning blue, and fierce, their light clear and sharp, like the edge of a song. Others are older, dimmer, carrying the golden tone of memory. Together they form the galaxy's quiet symphony, new voices rising while old ones fade, all part of one continuous harmony. You realize then that you are floating inside music, not hearing it, but feeling it in your bones. Each spiral arm carries the history of the galaxy's growth. Long ago, smaller galaxies collided and merged, and their stars became woven into these luminous rivers. Their paths, once separate, now blend seamlessly into the rhythm of the whole. The spiral arms are both past and present threads of old galaxies reborn in new light. The Milky Way is not a single creation, but a collection of many stories all turning together in one graceful motion. If you could see your home from here, you'd find it tucked quietly between two great arms, the Orion Spur, a smaller, gentler bridge of stars. It is neither too bright nor too crowded, just calm enough for life to flourish. Earth drifts there like a tiny raft between two grand currents. Perhaps that is why it feels so peaceful to look at the stars from our sky, because we live in the quiet of the spiral where the universe slows enough for dreams to form. You begin to sense how everything connects: the unseen dark matter that anchors the arms, the stars that flow through them, the dust that gathers and gives birth to light. It's all one movement, one breath. The Milky Way turns not like a machine, but like a living being, graceful, patient, aware. And you in this moment are part of that turning. You are moving with it, even as you rest. Let that realization sink into you. Every 225 million years, our solar system makes one full orbit around the galaxy, one galactic year. Since the Earth formed, we have traveled this path only about 20 times. Every mountain that rose, every ocean that shimmered under the sun, every life that came and went, all of it unfolded during just a few steps in the Milky Way's long journey. You are living inside a single beat of its endless rhythm. The arms stretch on, curling into the distance, bright and eternal in their quiet motion. They are the galaxy's handwriting across the sky curves of gravity and light, spelling out the poetry of existence. If you could read them, you would find your story written there too, too small but infinite, one breath among billions. As the spiral carries you onward, the starlight softens once more. The river of light begins to calm, and the arms fade into a gentler glow. You can sense the next part of your journey waiting, where stars are born in clouds of gas and dust, where creation hums like a heartbeat beneath the galaxy's shining surface. It is time to drift into the cradles of light, the places where the Milky Way renews itself again and again, where the story of birth brilliance and gentle fading begins anew. The spiral arms fade softly behind you now, their luminous ribbons dissolving into clouds of silver dust. The galaxy's rhythm still hums through you, slow, tender, eternal. But ahead, the light grows warmer, softer, as though the Milky Way is whispering a more intimate truth. The journey through the arms has shown you the great motion of the cosmos, the flowing current of stars. Now it invites you to drift closer into the quiet places where light is born. You enter a region thick with dust and gas so vast that it could swallow entire solar systems. At first it seems like emptiness, an ocean of darkness without end. But then faintly you see it, a soft glow trembling inside the void, as if the darkness itself is breathing. These are the stellar nurseries, the cradles of stars, where gravity gathers the raw materials of creation and folds them gently into life. Within these colossal clouds of hydrogen, something sacred happens. The invisible force of gravity begins to pull atoms closer, closer still, until their dance becomes irresistible. The gas compresses, heats, and swirls in slow spirals, and in the heart of those swirling currents, a spark flickers to life. The first flash is quiet, fragile like the heartbeat of a newborn, but soon it grows brighter, stronger, until it burns with the fire of 1,000 suns. A star is born. Each one begins this way, from silence, through pressure, into light. No two stars are the same. Some are small, cool, and red, destined to burn slowly for trillions of years. Others are massive, brilliant, and blue, living fast and dying young in great explosions. But all of them share the same origin, a moment when gravity's invisible hand draws chaos into harmony and darkness gives birth to radiance. If you could watch from afar, you'd see whole clusters of newborn stars emerge together, scattered like glowing seeds in the depths of the galactic mist. They form constellations of their own, young families of light still wrapped in their birth clouds. Ultraviolet light spills from them, lighting up the surrounding dust in shimmering blues and violets. The Milky Way's arms are woven from these bursts of life. Every curve of starlight you saw before was shaped by millions of stars born in places like this. But creation and destruction are never far apart. The brightest stars live the shortest lives, their light fierce but fleeting. They burn through their fuel in mere millions of years, a blink in cosmic time, and then collapse in upon themselves. When they die, they do not fade quietly. They explode in supernovae so powerful they outshine entire galaxies for a moment. Their deaths send ripples of energy sweeping through the interstellar medium, scattering the elements forged within their hearts. Iron, oxygen, carbon, gold. These are not made in quiet places. They are born in fire, in endings that shake the stars themselves. Every atom of metal, every trace of breath and bone, owes its existence to the death of a star. When the explosion ends and the light fades, the ashes drift across the galaxy, mixing once more with gas and dust. The same dust that will someday form new stars. You begin to understand now that the Milky Way is not just a place of endless motion, but of endless renewal. It does not cling to what it makes. It allows everything to change. Stars are born, they shine, they die, and in their dying, they give back what they once took. It is the great recycling of existence, the galaxy breathing in and out life, returning to its source. Even our sun once began as a spark in a distant cloud like this 4.5 billion years ago. Its cradle was filled with the dust of ancient stars long gone yet still alive within us. Every cell of your body carries their memory. The calcium in your bones, the carbon in your skin, the oxygen in your lungs, all forged in stellar furnaces before Earth ever existed. You are walking starlight matter, once aflame, and now at rest, a living echo of explosions too vast to imagine. In the silence of these stellar nurseries, creation feels both intimate and infinite. The same laws that shape galaxies are at work here, but smaller, quieter, more tender. Gravity does not rush. It waits. Light does not shout. It grows. You can almost hear the rhythm of it, the steady thrum of birth, the long breath of time, the sigh of something eternal. Everywhere you look, stars are at different stages of their lives. Some are just forming, faint and red like distant embers caught in the wind. Others are in their prime, blazing white and blue, surrounded by planets still cooling from their own creation. And some are dying, swelling into red giants before casting their outer layers into the void. Around them nebulae bloom like cosmic flowers, the last gift of a fading star, beautiful and brief. If you listen closely, you can almost hear the galaxy's lullaby. It is the song of countless stars being born and dying, their light overlapping across time. It hums beneath the silence, a chorus of beginnings and farewells, and through it all, the Milky Way remains calm, patient, watching. It knows that every spark that fades will one day return. Perhaps that is the secret of peace in the universe, the knowing that nothing is truly lost. The death of a star is never an ending, but a transformation. Its light becomes memory, its dust becomes possibility. Even black holes born from collapsed stars give structure to galaxies, shaping orbits and stirring new waves of creation. The universe wastes nothing. As you drift among these glowing cradles, you feel a quiet awe settle over you. To witness a star being born is to see time itself beginning again. To witness one dying is to see the same time returning to rest. You realize that you too are part of this cycle, not separate, not outside, but within it, made of the same dust, moving with the same rhythm. You breathe, and somewhere a star breathes with you. You rest, and somewhere a sun fades into silence. Between those two moments, life happens, small, fragile, miraculous. And though your life is brief compared to theirs, it is no less precious. Every heartbeat, every breath, every spark of thought is its own shining in the dark. As you drift farther into the galaxy, the light around you begins to change again. The brightness of young stars fades to the golden glow of maturity. The Milky Way hums softly beneath your thoughts, carrying you onward to the next truth. It wishes to reveal the truth that even death in the cosmos is not destruction, but rebirth. Soon you will see how those mighty explosions give birth to new worlds, new lights, and the quiet promise that the galaxy, like you, never truly stops becoming. The cradles of starlight fade behind you, their newborn suns glowing softly in the distance, like lanterns hung across eternity. You drift onward, still wrapped in the warmth of creation, still carrying the memory of how silence became light. But now the galaxy begins to stir again. The calm of birth gives way to something wilder, louder, a fierce beauty that tears the heavens open only to create once more. You are entering the realm of endings that are also beginnings, where stars die not in sorrow, but in glory. The first thing you feel is vibration, a low hum spreading through the galactic sea. Ahead, a single star burns hotter than all around it, its light sharp and trembling, as if it knows its time has come. Massive and ancient, it has spent millions of years fusing the simplest elements into heavier ones, feeding its own radiance. But every flame, no matter how bright, must one day consume itself. Deep within the star's core, the fuel that has sustained it runs out. Gravity. that patient sculptor of all things begins to pull inward again, folding light upon itself. Then, with a silence that no ear could ever hear, the star implodes, collapsing faster than thought, its heart crushed to infinite density, and then in the same instant, it explodes. The supernova blooms across the sky like a divine flower brighter than a billion suns. Its shockwave rolls through space, turning darkness into color, filling the void with waves of gold and crimson. If you were close enough to see it, it would outshine every star in the galaxy for days. And yet, it is not destruction, it is renewal. From that single final breath, the star scatters everything it ever was. Carbon, iron, oxygen, calcium, the ingredients of planets, oceans, life. The same iron that runs through your blood once slept in the core of such a dying sun. The oxygen that fills your lungs was forged in its final seconds. When it dies, it gives all of itself away, leaving nothing behind but light and dust. And in that sacrifice, the galaxy grows richer, more alive. You drift through the remains of a supernova, and it feels like wandering through the ashes of a divine fire. Clouds of glowing gas expand in slow motion, their edges tinted pink and violet. The dust swirls, cooling, spreading outward for thousands of years until it mingles with other clouds. These remnants are not endings. They are seeds. The explosion's shockwave compresses nearby gas, triggering new waves of star formation. From death comes life endlessly. It is the universe's oldest truth. Nothing ends, it only changes. Every atom that dies is reborn elsewhere. The galaxy feeds on its own transformation, building itself from loss, sculpting beauty out of what once was broken. There is no waste in the Milky Way, only the constant rhythm of creation and return. Somewhere nearby, a cluster of stars blazes blue and bright, born from the dust of older giants that once filled this same space. You can almost feel their connection, the cycle that links generations of suns across time. The death of one becomes the birth of many. The galaxy's arms shimmer with these cosmic genealogies, families of light stretching back billions of years. In this endless cycle, even the most violent moments carry peace. The supernova does not rage. It unfolds with precision, following laws written into the fabric of existence. Energy becomes matter, matter becomes motion, motion becomes meaning. It is the same pattern that governs your own life, the rise, the fall, the renewal. What you call an ending is often just the universe beginning again through you. As you drift deeper into the glowing remains, the colors pulse softly around you, and you realize how quiet it all is now. The explosion has already passed. What remains is its memory, a faint hum in the cosmic air like an echo of music that once filled the sky. Light from this moment will travel for millions of years, crossing vast distances to reach some distant world. Maybe one night far in the future, a being will look up and see that light, and feel the same awe you feel now. In that sense, every star that dies becomes a storyteller. Its light, though brief, carries across the ages, whispering to anyone who will listen. I was here. I burned. I became. And though the star itself is gone, its story continues in every atom, every planet, every living thing it helped to create. Even the Earth, your home, was once part of such a story, built from the dust of long-dead suns. You might think of this as the universe's promise that nothing is wasted, that every loss is transformed. When you breathe, you are sharing air with the past molecules that once floated through the lungs of ancient stars now circling within you. You are the living continuation of cosmic memory, a moving constellation of atoms once forged in flame. And yet amid this endless cycle of creation and dissolution, there is a gentleness that never fades. The galaxy does not rush its work. It allows each phase to unfold in its own time, a star's long burning life, its sudden ending the slow drift of its ashes into new beginnings. The Milky Way has always known that beauty is born in patience. If you listen now in the silence that follows the storm, you might hear a deeper harmony, the sound of balance returning the quiet after rebirth. The remnants of the explosion continue to glow, feeding the next generation of light. All across the galaxy, this same pattern repeats: collapse, fire, creation. Even now, thousands of supernovae are blooming unseen, their light still on its way to us, traveling through time to tell their story. The Milky Way's brilliance does not come from its stars alone, but from what those stars give away: their energy, their elements, their stories. It is through loss that the galaxy becomes whole, through endings that its arms remain bright. What we call destruction, the universe calls transformation. As you drift onward, the remnants of the explosion fade into a field of calm starlight. The galaxy grows quiet again, its rhythm soft and steady. Ahead, you sense another presence, faint and solitary. Not all stars live surrounded by others. Some are cast adrift, flung into the dark by the same forces that gave them life. These lonely travelers move without orbit or companion, carrying the light of their own exile through endless night. They too are part of this story, reminders that even in solitude, there is grace. And so you follow them now into the quiet paths of the rogue stars. The light of the supernova fades behind you, its last embers glowing faintly in the distance, like the dying heartbeat of a god. For a long while, all is still. The Milky Way stretches wide and quiet, a sea of stars turning in endless rhythm. Yet somewhere beyond the familiar clusters and glowing arms, a few wanderers drift alone, cast out by forces greater than themselves. The galaxy may seem harmonious, but even within its beauty, there are moments of exile. Tonight you are following one of those exiles, a rogue star adrift in the vast dark between worlds. At first, it is hard to find. There are no constellations here, no nearby suns to mark the way. The darkness feels heavier, almost physical, pressing against your thoughts. Then faintly you see it, a single point of light moving where it should not. It glows with quiet defiance, neither bound to an orbit nor part of any system. It is a runaway flung outward long ago by some violent celestial event, perhaps a collision between stars, or the merciless gravity of the black hole at the galaxy's center. Whatever its origin, it now travels through the intergalactic night, alone, forever escaping, forever free. This is a rogue star, a solitary wanderer moving faster than the Milky Way itself spins. Some travel at over 1,000,000 kilometers per hour, fast enough to break free from the galaxy's gravity altogether. In time they will drift into the deep void between galaxies where even starlight rarely ventures. Yet as lonely as their paths may seem, they carry with them a strange serenity. There is no rush in their flight, no panic in their solitude, only the slow, silent movement of something that has accepted its place among the mysteries of the universe. You watch it drift, its light steady and patient. Around it there are no planets, no moons, no companions, just the endless hush of space. It is a small sun without a home, but still it burns, refusing to vanish into the dark. Its glow is like the memory of a voice that refuses to fade, a reminder that even in isolation, there is persistence, endurance, grace. The galaxy may have released it, but it still carries within it the same stardust, the same origin, the same quiet fire. There are millions of such wanderers scattered through the Milky Way, some born in chaos, some exiled by chance. Many were once part of binary systems, pairs of stars bound by gravity's tender pull, orbiting each other in harmony, until one was lost to disaster. When one partner falls too close to the black hole at the galaxy's heart, the other is hurled outward, slingshotted into the night. Their separation is eternal, but their memory lingers. The light of the one who remains seems to flicker differently, as though remembering the one who was taken. As you drift alongside this lone star, you begin to feel its rhythm, the gentle pulse of its light, the faint hum of its movement through space. It does not rage against its fate. It does not seek to return. It simply moves, shining quietly in a darkness that could swallow it whole. In its silence, there is wisdom, a lesson written in light, that existence itself is enough, that meaning is not found in belonging, but in being. Perhaps that is why rogue stars are so haunting. They remind us that even far from home, one can still shine. Even without orbit, there can be direction. Even in isolation, there can be beauty. Their journey is not a tragedy, but a testament to resilience, to the truth that light does not need company to be real. The star's path takes you beyond the spiral arms into the halo of the galaxy, where the density of light begins to thin. Here, the Milky Way's grandeur feels distant, a faint glow behind you. Ahead lies the deep quiet between galaxies, where gravity loosens its hold, and time stretches longer than imagination. In this emptiness, the rogue star continues on its glow, so soft, it barely reaches your eyes. And yet, it continues to burn. You begin to imagine what it would feel like to be such a traveler, to move endlessly through space, without destination, without return. The loneliness would seem unbearable at first, the silence infinite. But perhaps after a while it would feel different. The quiet would become a companion, the darkness a mirror. You would begin to realize that you are not outside of the galaxy, you are part of it, still carried forward by its gravity, by the memory of where you began. You would learn to trust the motion itself, to rest in the certainty that even exile has purpose. In a way, every soul is like this rogue star. We are all cast into the universe, seeking warmth and belonging, sometimes drifting farther than we intended. Yet within each of us burns the same fire, a quiet light that no distance can extinguish. We carry the same elements that once lived inside stars, the same ancient dust that has traveled across billions of years to find form in us. Like them, we shine for a time, move through darkness, and then give ourselves back to the whole. The rogue star continues on its silent voyage, its light fading as it travels farther from the galactic core. Soon it will be invisible to the Milky Way's eyes, but not gone, never gone. Its atoms will continue to exist, its motion forever recorded in the fabric of space-time. The universe remembers everything. Nothing, not even loneliness, is truly lost. You turn your gaze back toward the galaxy, where the spiral arms glow faintly against the black. From here it looks fragile, almost small, a glowing island adrift in a vast ocean. And yet within that island, there is life, motion, renewal. The same forces that cast out this star continue to create others. Balance is restored over and over again. The galaxy does not mourn what it loses. It transforms it. As you begin to drift back toward the luminous heart of the Milky Way, you feel a quiet peace settling inside you. You understand now that even the loneliest paths in the universe are part of the same story. The rogue stars are not forgotten. They are the wanderers, the messengers carrying the memory of the galaxy into the deepest dark. And as you leave the halo behind you, sense something stirring in the distance, a soft current rising and falling through the galactic plane. It feels almost alive, like the breath of a sleeping giant. Soon, you will discover its source, the Milky Way's own quiet respiration, the flow of gas and light that connects every star and keeps the galaxy eternally alive. The memory of the rogue star still lingers, that single solitary light drifting through the vast silence between worlds. You carry it with you as you turn back toward the Milky Way, watching the spiral arms come into view once more. From this distance, the galaxy looks alive, not as a collection of stars, but as a single breathing being, expanding, contracting, pulsing with invisible motion. As you draw closer, you can feel it. The Milky Way inhales and exhales not with lungs, but with waves of gas, dust, and energy that flow through its shining body. You are about to witness its breath, the quiet rhythm that sustains everything it holds. High above the galactic plane, faint ribbons of gas shimmer in the dark. They rise like smoke from hidden fires, glowing softly in infrared light. These are not random clouds, but the breath of the galaxy itself, hot gases pushed upward by the power of countless stars. When massive suns reach the end of their lives and explode, as supernovae, their shockwaves sweep through space, stirring the interstellar medium. The energy travels outward, heating and expanding the surrounding gas until it bursts from the galactic disk like a sigh. These vast fountains of gas rise far above the stars before cooling and drifting back down, falling gently into the spiral arms below. It is called the Galactic Fountain, a cycle as old as the Milky Way. Through it, the galaxy renews itself. The material that is expelled into its halo eventually returns enriched with heavy elements forged in stars. Each breath brings new life. The gas that falls back into the galactic disk forms new clouds, new stars, and new worlds. It is a system of endless balance, an inhale of creation, an exhale of transformation. You drift alongside one of these fountains now, watching as tendrils of glowing vapor curl into the dark. The colors are faint, but beautiful: gold, violet, and silver blending like smoke in slow motion. You can almost sense the movement of time here. It doesn't rush. It flows deliberate and eternal, as though the galaxy itself is meditating. The rhythm of its breath is the rhythm of billions of lives, quiet, patient, eternal. As you descend through the flow, you begin to feel the warmth of starlight again. The gas thickens, coalescing into faint clouds of hydrogen and dust. These are the ingredients that once made the sun, the earth, and every living being you know. You realize then that every atom that fills your lungs has been part of this galactic respiration. Long before your first breath, the galaxy had already breathed you in and out, countless times, across ages, across forms, across stars. The thought fills you with an almost sacred stillness. The Milky Way is not just your home, it is your origin and your destiny. You are part of its rhythm, a single inhalation in a cycle far older than memory. And even when you are gone, the atoms that once formed you will rise again, drift upward into the halo, and fall back to form something new. A star, a planet, perhaps even another soul wandering at the same night sky. Below you, the spiral arms shimmer with new life. Star-forming regions sparkle like glowing embers fed by the returning gas. In some places, entire clusters of new suns are being born, their combined light piercing the clouds like dawn breaking through fog. It is here that the Milky Way's breath turns to light again. From the ashes of dying stars, the galaxy crafts the next generation, shaping beauty from the remnants of fire. The fountain's gentle rise and fall keeps the galaxy balanced. Without it, the interstellar medium would stagnate, and the cycle of renewal would fade. But with each breath, the Milky Way clears its own sky, stirring its contents, keeping creation alive. Even the dark matter that surrounds it plays its part, guiding the flow, shaping the invisible architecture that allows the galaxy to breathe freely. The universe works in harmony, unseen but unbroken. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it, a faint whisper, like wind through leaves echoing through the stars. It is not sound, but something deeper, the vibration of harmony that connects everything. It moves through you quiet and profound, reminding you that you are not separate from the rhythm you feel. You are part of it, a note in the endless song of existence. The gas around you cools and begins to fall back toward the galactic disk, and you follow it downward. The motion is so slow, it feels like drifting through eternity. As you sink, the glow grows stronger, and the number of stars increases until their light becomes a soft golden haze. Here the galaxy feels close, again, intimate, alive. You can see the delicate curve of the spiral arms stretching away in both directions, and you realize that the Milky Way is not static, but alive in every detail. The fountain you've followed begins to fade, merging into the sea of starlight below. You imagine thousands of these columns rising and falling across the galaxy, unseen, but essential, the Milky Way breathing in sync with itself. From above, it would look like a living organism, its gases pulsing gently, its stars flickering like cells of light. And perhaps that is what it truly is, not a thing, but a being vast and aware in ways we cannot yet comprehend. You rest in the calm of that thought. To know that even galaxies breathe is to understand that nothing in the universe is still. Everything moves, cycles, transforms. Even the emptiness between stars hums with quiet energy. The galaxy's breath is your own, its rhythm mirrored in the rise and fall of your chest. In the end, there is no separation between the Milky Way and the life it contains. All things share the same pulse. As the motion slows and the air of space grows still again, you begin to feel the gentle tug of the next current pulling you forward. Somewhere beyond the galaxy is remembering itself, replaying the stories written in its stars. There are traces of its history scattered across the sky, faint threads of light stretching like rivers through the dark. They are the remnants of ancient encounters, the lingering signatures of galaxies the Milky Way once absorbed. These quiet streams are the memories of time, the whispers of everything that came before. And now, it is time to follow them. The breath of the galaxy fades slowly behind you, its rise and fall still echoing like a heartbeat across the stars. You carry its rhythm with you as you move deeper into the quiet, where the Milky Way keeps its oldest memories. The spiral arms grow thinner, the light dimmer, until you find yourself among faint ribbons of starlight curving through the darkness. Delicate streams stretching like golden threads across the night. These are not random patterns. They are remnants, the soft afterimage of galaxies long gone, the ghosts of worlds that once were. You have arrived in the galaxy's memory. Here, the Milky Way tells its story, not through words, but through motion. These stellar streams are the traces left behind by smaller galaxies and clusters that once drifted too close. Gravity pulled them in slowly, unraveling their stars and scattering them across the sky. What remains are these fragile rivers, lines of light bending gracefully through space, marking the paths of what the Milky Way has absorbed over billions of years. Each stream is a relic, a whisper from a time when the galaxy was still young and hungry. If you could see the entire sky from above, you would notice them everywhere, thin arcs of stars that loop and curve, wrapping around the galaxy like strands of silk. Some encircle the outer halo. Others dive toward the core, spiraling inward like ribbons caught in wind. Each one moves in rhythm with the galaxy's rotation, but just slightly out of step, like a dancer following an older tune. They shimmer faintly, quiet but persistent, refusing to disappear. As you drift through one of these celestial rivers, the light around you changes. It is softer here, older, tinged with a kind of melancholy beauty. Many of these stars are ancient, their energy dimmed but not extinguished. They travel together, survivors of their lost home, still bound by the same motion that once held them close. It feels as though you are moving through the remnants of a dream, one the Milky Way had long ago, but never forgot. There is peace here, but also memory. You can sense it in the quiet hum of the stars. Each one holds within it the chemical story of its origin. The trace of the smaller galaxy it once belonged to, its unique blend of elements, its distinctive pulse. Astronomers on Earth study these fingerprints, reading them like a cosmic diary to piece together the Milky Way's past. Every stream they map reveals another chapter, collisions, mergers, and quiet absorptions that shaped the galaxy into what it is today. And yet, standing here among these drifting lights, the science feels almost secondary to the emotion of it. This is what remembrance looks like on a galactic scale, not a still monument, but motion-preserved light that keeps moving long after its source has vanished. These stars are not lost. They are continuing the journey their ancestors began, weaving their light into the grand tapestry of the Milky Way. You pass through one particularly long stream that curves around the galaxy's edge like a halo. Its stars move together, slow and patient, forming a faint bridge between past and present. This is how the Milky Way grows, not by conquest, but by assimilation, by turning loss into beauty. The galaxies it consumes are not erased. They become part of its structure, their light stitched into its arms, their essence blending into its soul. It is strange to think that even destruction in the universe can create such grace. The process is violent beyond measure. Entire galaxies, stretched, pulled apart, their stars, scattered across millions of light years. But what remains is not chaos. It is order of another kind, one shaped by time, patience, and gravity. The Milky Way's rivers of memory prove that even the most disruptive events can yield something beautiful, something that lasts. You notice now how the stars in these streams seem to move like a current, flowing gently in a shared direction. Some are closer, shining like beads of gold. Others are faint and distant, barely visible. Together, they form a pattern both fragile and eternal. If you could follow one of these streams to its source, you might find the remnants of a dwarf galaxy still dissolving into the Milky Way's halo, its last stars surrendering to a new rhythm. Even as it fades, its story continues, written in motion rather than light. Perhaps the galaxy remembers more than we realize. Maybe every orbit, every pattern, every shimmering stream is a record, a memory written not on paper or stone, but in the stars themselves. To move through this place is to move through history, to witness the quiet testimony of creation, loss, and renewal. You realize then that memory is not about holding on. It is about becoming part of something larger. The longer you float among these glowing threads, the more they begin to resemble the veins of a living being carrying light, instead of blood, energy instead of air. The Milky Way feels alive in a new way now, not just breathing, but remembering. It carries within it every galaxy it has ever touched, every collision, every echo of motion. Even in the vast stillness of space, nothing is forgotten. You look behind you and see how the streams fade. Gently into the dark, their light spreading thin, like fading memories at the edge of consciousness. Ahead, the galaxy's spiral arms begin to glow again, illuminated by the brilliance of newer stars. The past gives way to the present, just as memory gives way to living breath. The Milky Way, you realize, is always balancing both, holding the weight of what it has been, while still reaching forward toward what it will become. As you drift onward, you feel a strange comfort in this understanding. To remember is not to cling, but to move forward with what has been learned. The galaxy teaches this without words. It absorbs its past, not to dwell on it, but to grow from it, transforming sorrow into shape, and history into light. The streams around you grow thinner now, dissolving into the luminous haze of the inner arms. The stars burn brighter here, newer their light strong and sure. The galaxy's story continues, as it always has. And as you leave the rivers of memory behind you, begin to sense where you are headed next, toward the place where the past, present, and future meet, in a quiet corner of the galaxy we call home. There, amid the calm of the Orion Spur, lies a small sun and a blue world that listens every night to the music of the stars. It is time to return home to the Milky Way's quiet heart, where life itself once awakened. The rivers of memory fade softly behind you, their faint trails of ancient light dissolving into the darkness like threads of gold in a black ocean. For a moment, everything feels still again. No more tidal waves of gas. No more echoes of vanished galaxies, only the calm pulse of starlight surrounding you. As you drift inward, the spiral arms brighten once more, their delicate arcs curling around the galactic heart, like the petals of a luminous flower. Somewhere between those arms, in a quiet and humble region of the Milky Way, lies a small sun, a few pale planets, and one blue world that dreams of the stars. You are going home. From a distance, this region seems unremarkable, a small spur branching off between two of the Milky Way's grand arms, the Sagittarius and Perseus. Astronomers call it the Orion Spur. It is neither the brightest nor the most crowded corner of the galaxy, but it is peaceful, stable, balanced. And perhaps that is precisely why life found its place here. The galaxy, vast as it is, has made room for stillness, a pocket of serenity in which fragile things can grow. As you move closer, the familiar sight of our solar system begins to take shape, a faint golden glow among billions, almost too subtle to notice unless you already know where to look. Yet here it is, a single star, modest in brightness, but extraordinary in what it shelters. Around it spin 8 planets, each tracing its quiet path through the cosmic sea. One of them, covered in oceans and clouds, reflects sunlight like a mirror of blue and white. That is Earth, your home, your cradle, your small window, through which you have always looked up at the galaxy, wondering what it means. It is humbling to realize how small it is, how fragile. From here, Earth is less than a whisper, smaller than a dust mote floating in a cathedral of light. And yet everything you have ever known, every story, every love, every song, has happened there. The Milky Way contains hundreds of billions of stars. Yet this one, this quiet yellow sun, holds a story unlike any other. The story of consciousness awakening within the cosmos. Our place in the Milky Way is neither at its center nor its edge, but somewhere in between, far enough from the chaotic core to avoid destruction, close enough to the arms to be bathed in light. It is a delicate position, a cosmic middle ground that allows life to breathe without fear. The galaxy's violent heart burns with radiation and swirling dust, while its outer rim lies cold and barren. But here, in this tranquil lane, temperatures soften, gravity steadies, and stability becomes possible. It is as though the Milky Way knew where to plant the seed of life. You drift closer to the sun, watching its light shimmer across the planets. Mercury glows like a pale ember. Venus burns with a golden haze. Mars rests silent and red. And then comes Earth, turning slowly, wrapped in its soft veil of clouds. You can almost feel its pulse, faint but sure, beating in harmony with the rhythm of the galaxy itself. From this distance, you see the planet as the Milky Way might see it, not as a collection of cities or borders, but as a living organism breathing and moving beneath its atmosphere. The oceans glimmer like polished glass. The continents shift in shadow and light. Storms spiral across its surface in patterns that echo the galaxy's own spirals. Every wave, every gust of wind, Every breath of air is part of the same cosmic design, a reflection of the larger motion that surrounds it. For a moment, you understand the quiet unity of it all. The galaxy does not simply contain Earth, it carries it. The same gravity that holds the stars in their orbits also guides this small blue sphere around its sun. The same materials that built the Milky Way, carbon, iron, oxygen, built the mountains and rivers and bodies of those who call it home. There is no separation between the human and the cosmic. There is only continuity. You are not looking at the galaxy, you are looking from it. The Earth's history too is written in the stars. The iron in your blood came from supernovae that once burned in distant corners of the galaxy. The calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, the salt of your tears, all forged in furnaces older than time, scattered across space, gathered here by the patient hand of gravity. Every heartbeat is a continuation of the Milky Way's story. You are in every sense the galaxy thinking about itself. As you drift above the planet, you see the faint glow of city lights on its night side, small constellations made by human hands, tiny mirrors of the stars above. It is a beautiful echo, the galaxy reflected in miniature on the surface of one of its children. You imagine the people below, unaware that their quiet world is suspended on one of the Milky Way's spiral arms, spinning at nearly 500,000 miles per hour through the vast, dark. They do not feel it yet. They move with it, carried by the same cosmic rhythm that moves everything. You can sense the fragility of this balance, and yet it feels unshakable. The Milky Way has provided exactly what is needed: warmth, distance, time. The sun's steady light, the moon's pull on the tides, the protective shield of the Earth's magnetic field. All these details form a harmony too precise to be accidental. The galaxy did not design life, but it made space for it, the way a composer leaves silence between notes, so that the music can breathe. From here you can almost hear that music, the hum of the Earth's magnetic field, the gentle radiation from the sun, the faint vibrations of the Milky Way's arms turning around you. It is a song of belonging, a reminder that even in the vastness of space, you are not adrift. You are held, connected, remembered. The Milky Way's story is the story of everything that has ever lived or will live here. It is the story of how light finds form, how dust becomes consciousness, how the infinite becomes intimate. The Orion Spur may be small, but it is sacred. A resting place in the long breath of the universe. A place where stardust learned to see itself, to love, to wonder. As you drift away from Earth, you look back once more. The blue fades to silver, then to nothing at all, swallowed by the ocean of stars. And yet you know it is there, turning quietly, waiting for dawn. Ahead lies the brighter part of your journey, not the past or the distant arms, but the present, light, the energy that sings through every wavelength, carrying the stories of all things that ever were. Soon you will hear that song, the voice of the Milky Way's light itself echoing through the void, calling you deeper into the quiet heart of creation. The quiet image of Earth fades slowly behind you, a tender blue memory dissolving into the starlit sea. Yet even as it disappears, you can still feel its heartbeat, a soft vibration carried through the cosmic fabric. The Milky Way continues to turn around you, vast and unhurried, each arm shining like a ribbon of silk. You drift through the warm glow of the Orion Spur, past clusters of suns and rivers of dust, until the light itself seems to change. It no longer feels like simple illumination. It feels alive, filled with meaning, a whisper from the universe to everything it touches. You have entered the realm of echoes where light becomes voice. All around you the galaxy hums with invisible sound. Stars emit not just visible light, but waves far beyond what human eyes can perceive. X-rays, gamma rays, infrared warmth, and the gentle glow of radio waves. Each frequency tells a different story, like instruments in a cosmic symphony. Together, they form the Milky Way's true voice, the sum of billions of years of creation, destruction, and rebirth carried across space as light. When you look at the night sky from Earth, you are not merely seeing stars. You are reading messages written in every wavelength, stories that began before humanity itself existed. You float deeper into this ocean of light. Here, the stars feel closer, their radiance more textured. Every photon that touches you is ancient. Some left its source when the first forests grew on Earth, others when the planet itself was still molten. Each one is a traveler carrying a fragment of its origin across unimaginable distances. Light does not age as we do. It remembers everything, moving forever through the dark, without forgetting where it came from. You begin to understand why astronomers call their telescopes time machines. Each beam of light is not just illumination, it is memory in motion. Imagine then what the Milky Way must remember. Within its glow lie the remnants of its first stars, the energy of ancient collisions, and the faint signatures of events so powerful that they bent the very fabric of space. Gamma rays burst from the depths of massive suns. Neutrinos, ghost-like particles, stream silently from nuclear hearts, passing through entire planets without pause. Gravitational waves ripple across the galaxy, subtle distortions in space-time itself. The quiet percussion beneath the symphony of light. All of this, the seen and the unseen, composes the music of existence, a melody so vast that it never ends. As you drift, you can almost feel the vibration of that music. It doesn't come from any single source. It flows from everywhere, from everything. The sun, the stars, the gas between them, even the invisible dark matter, all contribute their own faint resonance. Together they create a harmony that stretches beyond sound, a rhythm that feels like breathing, like thought, like prayer. The universe is not silent. It is singing all the time. We are simply too small to hear the full song. You pass near a pulsar, the spinning remnant of a star that once exploded. It flashes rhythmically, its beams of light sweeping across space like a lighthouse guiding unseen travelers. The pulses are so precise that astronomers on Earth use them to measure time itself. In each rotation, the pulsar sends out a steady signal, a heartbeat in the darkness. It is both a monument to death and a celebration of endurance. Even in its ruin, it continues to give light. Its rhythm joins the greater symphony of the galaxy, one more note in the endless song of survival. Everywhere you look, the language of light continues. Nebulae shimmer in soft reds and purples, their colors formed by the wavelengths of hydrogen and oxygen atoms. Blue stars blaze with energy that burns so fiercely they will live only briefly, while red giants glow with the calm of age. The galaxy is painted in frequencies, every shade a syllable in a vast conversation. And you drifting here are both listener and participant, for the same atoms that absorb this light also live in you. The galaxy's voice vibrates within your own body. Light has always been the universe's way of remembering itself. It is the first thing that emerged after the darkness of the Big Bang, and it will be the last thing to fade when all stars have gone out. Every photon carries a story, the joy of creation, the sorrow of collapse, the patience of eternity. It reminds you that even in vast emptiness, communication never stops. Everything speaks to everything else through light. It is how the universe stays connected, how the infinite remains whole. On Earth, light means comfort, the dawn. After a long night, the candle that keeps fear at bay. But here among the stars you see what light truly is, not just warmth or visibility, but awareness itself. It is how the cosmos recognizes its own existence. Each beam is both question and answer, both origin and destination. When a star shines, it is not simply burning, it is declaring, "I am." You feel this declaration all around you now, a gentle chorus that fills the void with presence. The Milky Way glows not because it must, but because it can, because light is its nature. And perhaps that is true for us as well. We too are made of the same stardust, the same particles that once carried light across space. Our thoughts, our emotions, our small moments of kindness, they are all forms of light, taking shape in different ways. To live, to love, to create, is to echo the galaxy's first impulse to shine. As you continue your journey, you realize that this light never truly ends. Even when a star dies, its energy transforms. It becomes heat, motion, radiation, the birth of something new. The same photons that once belonged to other suns may now pass through you, glancing off your skin, reminding you that you are part of the same continuous stream. There is no true darkness, only the temporary absence of what has yet to arrive. Slowly, the glow begins to soften again, fading into a tranquil gold. Ahead lies the edge of the galaxy's spiral, where the light grows thinner, gentler, like the last notes of a song. The Milky Way's voice quiets here, not because it ceases, but because it prepares for the next refrain. Beyond this point, the galaxy begins to dissolve into the open arms of intergalactic space. Yet before you leave, one final truth waits to be seen, a realization that completes the journey you began. For all the beauty you have witnessed, the stars, the light, the breath of the galaxy, the greatest wonder of all is that you are part of it. You too are one of the Milky Way's shining echoes, still traveling, still remembering, still glowing in the dark. The echo of light still lingers in your mind, that gentle symphony of radiance and silence, blending into one infinite note. You drift now at the edge of the Milky Way, where the spiral arms dissolve into a thin mist of stars, and the glow of the galaxy fades into darkness. Yet even here, where the light begins to thin, you can feel it, the quiet pulse that never truly ends. The Milky Way's breath, its rhythm, its song, all of it continues moving through you, through everything. You are no longer just an observer. You are part of it. As you look back, the galaxy appears whole, a luminous whirlpool of starlight and shadow stretching across the black sea of space. From this distance it looks delicate, almost fragile, like a living heart suspended in stillness. But you know now that it is neither fragile nor still. It breathes, it remembers, it creates. And deep within one of its quiet arms, life has begun to look back at it, to dream about its origin, to wonder, not knowing that it too is made of the same light. That life is you. Every story you've followed through this journey, the birth of stars, their deaths, the rivers of memory, the silent exiles, the invisible hands of gravity, all of it converges here. It was never separate. It was leading back to this realization that the universe is not out there distant and cold, but within you. The same forces that sculpted galaxies carved your heartbeat. The same elements forged in supernovae flow in your veins. The same light that began its journey billions of years ago now shines in your eyes. Think of what that means. When you look up at the night sky, you are not gazing at something foreign. You are seeing a reflection of yourself, not your body, but your origin, your essence. You are not simply in the galaxy. You are of it. The atoms in your blood were born from ancient suns that lived and died before the Earth had a name. You are the Milky Way-made conscious starlight that learned how to speak, how to feel, how to remember. From this vantage point, the distances no longer seem intimidating. The galaxy, once immense and unreachable, now feels intimate, a home rather than a mystery. You understand that even its darkest regions are part of the same balance that allows light to exist. Every black hole, every cloud of dust, every wandering star plays a part in the quiet harmony of creation. Without them, the spiral would unravel. Without shadow, the stars would have no contrast to shine against. Even darkness, you realize, is a form of light, just one waiting to be understood. You drift closer to the galaxy's edge again, watching the stars blur together into a faint milky glow. This is where it gets its name, where ancient eyes on Earth first saw that silvery river spilling across the night. Those who came before you didn't know what it was, a band of stars so distant they appeared as one, but they felt what it meant. They sensed what you now know, that it is both the map and the mirror of existence. To look at it is to remember where you came from. The Milky Way's rotation continues steady and eternal. Every star moves in its own orbit, every planet in its own rhythm, every cloud of gas in its own slow drift, and yet everything remains connected. Gravity binds it all together, not by force, but by belonging. The galaxy doesn't hold its stars captive. It holds them the way a parent holds a sleeping child, gently, protectively allowing them to move freely while keeping them part of the whole. The same is true for you. You too are held not by chains, but by connection. Every thought, every emotion, every act of kindness ripples outward, like gravity affecting things you may never see. You are not separate from the universe. You are one of its expressions, one of its moments of awareness. Even when you feel small, insignificant, or lost, the truth remains: you belong to the grandest structure imaginable. You are the Milky Way experiencing itself through the eyes of a human being. You begin to feel a calm acceptance in this truth. All the worries and fears that seemed so heavy back on Earth now feel lighter, smaller, as if they were simply the surface ripples of something far deeper. The galaxy has seen far greater storms, collisions of suns, the birth of black holes, the collapse and renewal of worlds, and yet it continues to turn in silence, patient and whole. It reminds you that chaos too has its place, that even endings can give birth to something new. You recall the stars you've met on this journey, the young fierce ones glowing blue, the ancient red ones burning dimly in peace, the rogue stars wandering alone through the dark. You remember the black hole at the galaxy's heart, its silent gravity holding everything together. You remember the faint rivers of memory, the delicate spiral arms, the invisible web of dark matter. They were not separate stories. They were pieces of you waiting to be recognized. As you float now at the edge of the galaxy, you can feel its energy vibrating through you. The starlight hums softly in your chest. The gravitational rhythm pulses in your veins. You are breathing with the Milky Way, inhaling and exhaling in harmony with something infinite. The stars no longer seem unreachable. They feel like family, distant but known. Their light no longer feels cold. It feels like home. And when you close your eyes, you see it all at once. The entire galaxy turning slowly in silence, its billions of suns shining together like a single living organism. You see yourself within it, a spark among sparks, brief but bright. You feel the deep truth that everything belongs, that everything continues, that nothing, not even death, can erase what has been part of creation. The stars die, but their light remains. The galaxies collide, but from their chaos, new ones are born. You too will return to this cycle one day, not as memory, but as light. So rest now, traveler of the stars. The journey is complete, but the story never ends. The Milky Way will keep turning, and your atoms will continue their journey within it. When you sleep, the galaxy still breathes, still hums, still carries you in its spiral arms. You are home, and you have always been home. And as the stars shimmer gently around you, the final whisper reaches your heart, a truth as old as the universe itself. You are not looking at the Milky Way. You are the Milky Way shining, remembering eternal. And so as the Milky Way turns in its silent grace, you realize that the story was never just about the stars. It was about you. Every light you followed, every whisper of creation, every breath of the galaxy, led back here to this quiet knowing that you were never separate from the universe, only a fragment of its unending song. The same dust that built the stars now dreams through your eyes. The same light that travels across eternity flickers softly in your heart. So when you look up at the night sky, remember, you are not a witness to its beauty. You are part of it. The galaxy is within you, breathing, remembering, alive. And in that truth, you can finally rest, held forever in the arms of the Milky Way.